My name is Brooks. I'm the British Tech Guru. This is a disabled ramp that I built a few years ago. If you notice, I've marked some of these boards with red, which indicates to me which boards are likely to need replacing. And I've marked quite a few of them. Today, I'm just going to work on two. Now, this one in particular, or this pair in particular, are really quite bad. There we go. If you can see, put my foot on it and it's flexing. That's a bad, whoops, put my foot on it and it's flexing. Bad board. And we're replacing that. These are some of the boards that I bought from Lowe's the other day. As you can see, they're not exactly the straightest boards in the world, but then I very rarely find wood from Lowe's is straight. It is, however, good enough to do replacement boards on the walkway. I will now go and hunt for my tape measure so that I can measure them to cut them, or at least cut one and have two 4-foot lengths for the walkway. After I've done the cutting, I'll use this thing to unscrew the previous board and put the new one in. That'll involve some drilling and screwing. The big problem is this Harbor Freight drill is pretty horrible. The battery, it's on its third battery, and the drill isn't much good, the batteries aren't much good. So needless to say, the battery is flat, so I'm going to have to charge that. So it'll be a couple of hours before I finish the job. So I'm going to be measuring this piece of wood, and I need 48 inches. I apologise for being so far back, but I'm not showing very much of me, but there we go. Oh, there we go. That's 48 inches. So I'm going to mark it there with a nice little saw cut. Needless to say, this is not my tape measure. I borrowed one because typically I can't find my own. Anyway, so I've got that there, and that's approximately 90 degrees. So I'm going to mark that, and you can see the camera's wobbling. I'm sorry about that. Let me move it more central for you. There we go. That's approximately 90 degrees. It does not need to be absolutely perfect because it's just for a garden walkway or for a disabled ramp, so the ends don't have to be perfect. And let me move on to the next scene. Presto, with the magic of camera magic, the two boards that were originally one board that you saw me start to cut are now just sitting on the ramp ready to be installed, where the two darker boards are. The dark boards are clearly a little bit rotted. One is flexing a bit. I'll get to that when my drill is fully charged. Well, when I'm replacing these boards, I had to go full caveman because a lot of the screws had broken off and some wouldn't turn. But some of this wood was very, very thoroughly rotted. And that is supposed to have been treated wood, I believe. And I'll show you the next gripping bit in a second. Well, the wood is now removed, and I have some broken screws and one screw that wouldn't come out and another broken screw. And what I'm going to do is use the vice grips to unscrew the screws, and if they won't come out, which they should, I'll just angle grind them off and then drill new holes and try to avoid hitting the screws. Well, that's the new boards in place. I just have to drill them and screw them, and that's where the Harbor Freight thing comes in. There we go. Some of the original screws I could get out with the mole grips. Some of them I could not. I just had to bend them and break them off. And now I've got to try and drill the holes without hitting the old screws with the drill bit and possibly breaking or blunting the drill bit. I've got one board screwed in already and I'm working on the next one. And I'm sure as you watch me lean down that you wish I was a beautiful young lady because I'm pretty sure most of my viewers are male and they would love to see a beautiful young lady. Oh, these screws, by the way, are totally different from the screws I used before. The screws I used before were drywall, which is why I've had the problem of rust. Okay, that's the first of that one in, and it's a slow process. I have to change the drill bit over for the screw. Oh, and that's one of the other problems. This is the problem with the Harbor Freight chuck. Harbor Freight chuck likes to undo itself, so I end up with the thing spinning. Yeah, high quality stuff, and Harbor Freight is cheap, and that is about their only bonus. And there is the completed replacement on the ramp. Now you might wonder why the planks are about 1.5 inches apart. That's so that nothing can get between them and cause rot. There are quite a few more planks I need to replace, or planks that look like they need replacing, and I'll get to them in due course. Bear in mind I built this entire ramp largely out of recycled lumber, and I've just been replacing the bits of lumber that have rotted badly, enough to be unsafe. I have probably about another 10 or 15 pieces that I've marked as questionable, and I'll be replacing those in due course. You saw me replace some of the boards on the ramp. I built that ramp, as I said, quite a while ago, and it was built out of largely recycled lumber because at the time I was between jobs and I didn't want to spend more money than I absolutely had to. This is for my disabled lady friend, mistress, whatever, and I built that ramp over probably the course of about a week so that she could move into that trailer. And since then I've been working on replacing bits that, as they rot, because the wood was old and a lot of it wasn't even rot proofed. The stuff I've put on is all brand new recently, is all brand new and rot proofed. Having said that, it comes from Lowe's, and the quality of wood Lowe's seems to get is not very high, judging from what I've seen. Some wood is just unusable because it gets so warped so quickly. I do my best, and I think I'm doing a reasonable job, and I'll see you in the next video.